Welcome to Dynamic Sport Adventures, offering outdoor adventures in hiking, backpacking, wilderness camping, snowshoeing, leave no trace, animal tracking, wild edibles, and much, much more. Let Dynamic Sport Adventures help you get outdoors. Hi everybody, welcome back to Dynamic Sport Adventures. Today we're out in the fall, here October in upstate New York, and we have a fire going in the background as you can see. You also can probably see the big pile of acorns we have. What I want to try to show you today is how to cook some acorn flatbread on a flat stone over some coals. And it's going to be a condensed version of how to make the acorn flour, as there's a lot of good videos out on YouTube on how to make acorn flour. But basically what you want to do is collect your acorns. Now there's a lot of argument, a lot of debate about white acorn, white oak or red oak. Native Americans, let me tell you, probably will not going to pass up a red oak, being they're a lot more abundant. But I have a mixture here today of white and red oak acorns, and I've collected a bunch of them. Once you've collected your acorns, you're going to want to put them out in a single layer and try to put them out in the sun for a week or two and get them dry inside. Once you dry them, once you think they're drying out a little bit, you can take them. You also can do it without drying them and process it as that way. But once you do that, you're going to want to crack them open. Again, doing it an older style, or frontier's way, or native way. We're going to use primitive materials and primitive tools. So we're going to use our stone. We're going to crack it open, and then we're going to put our meat in our shells all together. And then we're going to separate them eventually by just keep on smashing them down. Once we've processed those and peeled the shells off and got to the meat, you're going to be left with the meat with some skin on the outside. Once we do that, we're going to want to take a tool. Now, this is an antler. You can also use the antler for a pick. Pick some of the meat out of the inside with a nice sharp point. And then we're also rounded the end, using it rounded, and we're going to start grinding this down. Once we grind this down, by the way, these bowls are clay bowls that have been fired from clay. Try to make those. Wooden bowls will work. Again, obviously, when you have commercial or modern processors and grinders and grinding mills, this process is way, way easier. So once you do that, you're going to keep on grinding this down until a fine, as fine as you can get. The finer you can get it, the better. And you're going to want to leach out the tannins. There's a lot of tannins that are really bitter and astringent, and you're going to need to leach this out in water. A lot of people use containers, put it in there, let it settle out. You'll see the water start turning yellow, and then they decant the water off the top until they get to the point where you don't have any bitter or astringent taste in your mouth, and that has left the acorn meat. When you put these in the water, once you start getting this to a fine consistency and put it in the water, a lot of the skins will float to the top and you can skim them off, or when you decant the water, a lot of those skins will come right out. So once you do that, you process that down as best you can. You keep grinding it down to a fine powder. The finer the powder you can get, the finer texture you can get, the less leaching you're going to have to do. It'll leach out a lot better. So once you've leached these out several times, and again, this process can take a week, just from getting this process until we're leached them out daily, draining the water a couple times a day, and that may take several days. Once you get that done, you're going to end up with a fine powder, and then you're going to want to dry it. Lay your powder out onto a sheet or onto any kind of container in a single layer, and you can dry it out. Again, modern method. There's a lot of food dehydrators and stuff like that is going to make the process way, way quicker. So you're going to end up with a reddish or brown material. As the water starts leaching, when you're leaching your acorn meat, it's going to be yellow, and then eventually, as the process turns on more and more, once you get to the point and it starts drying out, you're going to get this brown reddish color, which was going to be the final product. To make your product last, you could use it right after you leached it and make your bread and make your flatbreads then. If you want to keep it and store it, you're going to want to dry the the fine material into this powder. And once you've done that, this will store for a long time. And then you can use it like any other flour. Again, what I'm going to do is mix a little bit of water with this. I'm not going to add any other modern ingredients to it. And if you can notice in the fire over there, I have a flat rock in the background. I'm going to put coals underneath that, and we're going to try to cook this on the back or on the top of that flat rock. And we're going to make a little piece of flatbread with acorn flour. So stay tuned. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to put in some pictures of some of the process as we talked about, you know, about laying them out, about the leaching. But again, there's a lot of great YouTube videos out there on the whole process. They're quite long. I just want to show you today and get that method of processing it down using all as little as modern tools as I can, and make this flatbread, and hopefully it'll come out good for you. So stay tuned while I cook down this coals in the fire and get that rock heated up, and we'll see how it comes out. Stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back. I added some water to our acorn flour, and I made it into a patty, a small patty, because I want to just, again, show you guys a little bit how to do this today. And I actually want to save some of my acorn flour so I can make a loaf of bread. But so again, we're making flatbread today. So you can see the consistency, made into a patty. And then in the background, you can see that that fire is still going, the coals are in it. And I actually, the best thing you can do when you're using a piece of rock is use some animal fat, put it on there. So I used a couple pieces of bacon so the acorn flatbread doesn't stick to the stone. So once that bacon is, or animal fat, which you would use in a survival situation or in the wilderness or native way, once that sizzles and I know that rock is hot, I'll place the acorn bread on. We'll start cooking the acorn bread, and then hopefully we'll be able to taste it for you and see how it comes out. So again, stay tuned as I edit the video and continue on. Okay, back again guys. As you can see now, I got the acorn flatbread on our hot rock that's been over the coals, and we're starting to cook one side of it. And as it cooks, we'll let it cook for a little while. We'll flip it over, cook the other side, and then we'll show you the finished product. Stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back. So this has been cooking for a while. If you guys remember the video, the bannock bread we did, the bannock on a stick, and some of the bush bread that we did cooking in the coals. The way I tested the dough was out to see if it was done is kind of give it a little, it kind of gives you a little thud sound knowing that it's cooked through. So let's see if it how it came out. Or break it apart a little bit so you can see the inside. So it's a nice moist inside. It's cooked through, almost consistency almost like a gingerbread type cookie, but it's flatbread. And let me just take a little. It's actually pretty darn good. So it's got a little bit of I would say nutty flavor, but it's also a little bit of sweet. Consistency of like I said, a gingerbread cookie or whatnot. But that's a nice piece of flatbread. Again, you can make this into a loaf. You can add other ingredients. A lot of people like to put a little bit of cinnamon in it. But basically, that's how to make acorn flatbread the quick and easy way. That's pretty darn good. So thanks for watching. I'll post some pictures in there. I'll edit this and I'll place some pictures in there of some of the process that we used to cook this and to process it. Again, doing it this way, the primitive way, takes a long time. You might spend a week or more processing all this down. With the commercial food processors and grinders and some of the stuff that we can do with the dehydrators out there nowadays, you can probably do this in a few days, several days, doing the commercial modern way. I wanted to show you guys basically how maybe the Native Americans may have processed some of it and then cooked it on an open fire. Thanks for watching Dynamic Sport Adventures. Remember, happy hiking and get outdoors.